Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the 4 Pillars of Health with Kevin Davis. I get asked a lot, exactly what do I do? What is my lifestyle? What is my dietary habits? What kind of exercise do I do? What kind of sleep? Do I pray? Those type of things. Do I incorporate the things that I ask you to do to make you healthier in my own life? And that's what today's podcast is going to be about. We're going to talk about the things I've been doing, especially for the last 6 weeks or so, and tell you some results, some of the things that I'm doing. If you don't know me, my name is Kevin Davis. I'm a physician assistant and online health coach, and I help guys lose weight, gain that muscle so they can optimize their life and live the life that they want to live, not deteriorating, but getting to the point where they are getting more healthy and are able to enjoy their later years and their retirement years. So, a little bit about me. I've started my journey about 15 years ago, and with this journey, it's taken me a long time. My goal has always been to try to improve. Now, when I say improve, this is the way I kind of explain to a lot of people and my patients as well too. It's like if there's a timeline. If over here is where you start on one side, and over here on the other side is perfect health. I'm always striving to go towards perfect health. Now, and I know we're not going to achieve perfect health. We never will until we get to heaven. Then we'll have perfect bodies. But what I want to do is be able to kind of keep moving a little bit forward. Now, sometimes I make giant steps. Sometimes I make small steps. I try to at least stay the same and not try to regress. Now, has there been times where I've regressed? Absolutely. And that's like everybody else's journeys. You got your ups and you got your downs. But what I want to do is give you encouragement that wherever you're at, you can get a little bit better by the end of the week, a little bit better by the end of the month, a little bit better by the end of the year. And then give yourself a report card, just like you do in school. Every 6 weeks, every semester, or whatever it may be, you get a report card. How's your progress? And what you want to do is be passing. Every semester, you need to be passing so that you're getting closer and closer to the health that you want to get. Now, if you read my books, one of the things that I've always wanted to have is a six-pack. Still haven't got it. Been working towards 15 years for this. And I'm still working towards getting that. And, I think I'm getting closer sometimes and, want to get to that goal. That's just like a vanity goal. It doesn't really have to do anything with your health, but it's just something that physically I want. With my overall health, I want to get better as far as some of the markers on my blood work so that I know I don't have like metabolic dysfunction. Because I know when I have metabolic dysfunction, it leads to a lot of chronic diseases. And if you've been a patient of mine or listened to my podcast in the past, that is a very real possibility if you have underlying metabolic dysfunction. So those things, and I know, therefore I'm trying to get to the point where I'm achieving as best health as I can. Now, a lot of times, I think if we can hit 90% of what we want to get to, 90% of our lifestyle, it's going to really get us there. That last 10% of getting to where you want to go is really the hardest part. So wherever you're at in your journey, if you're just starting, you can make leaps and bounds. In the next 6 months, oh my goodness, you can do so much more. 12 weeks, just like in my course that I have now, we can take people who are very unhealthy, and in 12 weeks, they can see a dramatic improvement. But the thing is, it doesn't stop there. And that's what I try to teach in my course is when you're learning these things and you learn the why behind if you're doing these things, then you can keep doing them. Sometimes you need more accountability. That's what we're always there for. But, once you learn the whys of why you're doing something, then you can keep doing that and make good, educated decisions to get where you want to go. Now, a little bit about my last 6 weeks or so. I've really kind of tuned in to my diet, my sleep, my exercise, my prayer life. And I really kind of wanted to say, okay, I need to nail these as best as I can. And, for the first probably 4 weeks, I kept doing it. I didn't see a lot of things as far as improving, but, I kept doing it. And I've been doing this again for 15 years. So you got to think, okay, it's not like I'm starting from scratch here. So the things that I've seen so far, and I'm going to go over this in a little while, is better sleep, better workouts, getting stronger, all those type of things. And I'm going to tell you what I did. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Everybody's individualized. There's a lot of things that, it's across the board. Everybody should be getting rid of processed foods. Everybody should be doing some kind of exercise. You need to reduce your blood sugar or your sugar intake. Those are common. Those are things we need to really have everybody do. But some of the things that you kind of tune the dial is like, how many carbs are you eating? How much fat are you eating? How often are you exercising? How long you're exercising? What's your sleep schedule like? Those type of things. That's when you can kind of like tune the dial as far as individualize. So over on one side, you've got the mainstays everybody needs to do. The protein, their sleep, their resistance training, those type of things. On the other side, you need to fine tune it. And that's where the dial comes in. And, again, I've been on my journey for a long time, and I'm still doing some fine tuning. The thing that I've learned, one of the things I've learned is what you did, 5 years ago, I don't do those things anymore. For instance, fasting. I used to fast all the time. Now I've reduced the amount of fasting that I have. And my personal opinion with that is when you get metabolically healthy, you don't need to fast as much because you need to get your protein in. If you're metabolically unhealthy, maybe you need to fast some more. And that's where the individualized approach comes in. So over the last 6 weeks, these are things I've really tried to do. I've tried to get 150 plus grams of protein per day. And I'm going to go over some of the sample days of what I eat during the day in just a second. And I want to try to take in less than 20 grams of sugar per day. Now, how do I know what I'm taking in? I have to track it. Now, when I tell people to track something, oh my goodness, it's like they roll their eyes. I don't want to do this. This is too much. If you don't know where you're at to begin with, then you don't know exactly how to adjust. Like if I wasn't tracking my food and I wasn't getting results, I'd be guessing, am I getting 110 grams of protein? Am I getting 150? Those are the things that you need to know. Over a period of time, the last 15 years, I track my foods intermittently. I don't do it all the time, but when I'm trying to fine tune something, I want to track it because then I can go back and look at it. I'm also tracking my calories. And if you've listened to me in the past, a lot of times I don't really care about calories at this point, but I'm tracking those as well as my blood sugar intake, or not my blood sugar, but my sugar intake. I'm tracking the calories as well because I want to just see, okay, where's my baseline at if I'm trying to lose weight, gain weight, those type of things. And you're going to be surprised here in a minute what's happened with me in the last 6 weeks or so. So overall, in the last 6 weeks, like I said, I've been really trying to really nail down the diet. I've had cookies a few times. If you know me, chocolate chip cookies is my kryptonite. Sometimes I eat those, and I still have those sometimes, but very limited. Now, what's really helped me as far as like food fine tuning things is being able to prep. If you've seen my YouTube or if you follow me on Facebook, those type of things, you'll see on Sundays, a lot of times I'll just videotape what I'm doing. And I do that as encouragement for other people to let them know. A lot of times they tell me they don't have time to exercise, but in reality, you do have time. If you got a couple hours, like on a Sunday, you can prep for 3 days. And that's what I do. I prep on Sunday and I eat Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off that. So I'm able to do that and eat the things that I need. Now, sometimes I've had to eat outside at restaurants, and I know that happens sometimes with people, and myself included. But if I can prep and I know what's going in my foods, it's a whole lot better because there's some things when you go to a restaurant, you just don't know how things are prepared. So prepping has really helped with that. And I'm a creature of habit. 5 days out of the week, I can eat the same things. On Saturday and Sundays, sometimes I eat some things different. But a lot of times, it's just a routine of getting things. I don't mind that. Now, you may not be like that, and you may need to have more variety, which is okay. But for me personally, it's just easier. It's an easier decision. It's kind of like you reduce that decision fatigue. And what I mean by that is if you've already decided that's what you want to do and it's just what you do, then you don't have to decide, what am I having every day to eat? I already know what I'm eating. On Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at lunchtime, I've already got my meals. I don't have to think about it. So that might be something very helpful for you as well too. Now, during the last 6 weeks, I did have 1 week in there where we went on a mission trip to the Dominican Republic. And as a mission trip, so it wasn't a vacation. So I didn't really get to choose what I ate. And a lot of times, almost every day, we had chicken and rice. I had different types of chicken and rice. And then we had, things like cereal or pancakes or something like that for breakfast. But a lot of times I just try to eat eggs and not the other things. But over a week's time, I did have some things I normally don't have. So I threw that in there as well. And it's a good example for you guys is because it really didn't stall my progress. By the time I got back, I didn't lose anything. I didn't lose any progress on my goals, and I was still being able to maintain those. So over the last 6 weeks, some of the things that I've noticed is if you've, again, follow me, I posted, I deadlifted 300 pounds. I'm 54 years old, and that's the most I've ever deadlifted in my entire life. So that old thought process, as you get older, you're going to get weaker and you get those type of things, it's false. It's what you do. If you're not taking care of your body, that is true. You will get weaker and those type of things. But if you start taking care of yourself, you can actually get stronger. Personally, I did. Now, this is a study of one. This is just me. Again, it may not be you, but it happened with me. This is real. This is things that I've done. The other thing that I've been really pleasantly surprised is my sleep score. Now, I normally sleep. I go to bed at 9. Usually I'm asleep by 9:15. I get up at 5:15 every morning. And my sleep score has been okay. It's been maybe in the 70s, on a regular basis, sometimes 60s, sometimes 80s, but roughly I would say mid-70s. In the last 2 weeks, my sleep score has been tremendous. It's been in the high 80s. And actually my deep sleep, which I've always had problems with, and I've researched it, and there's really not a whole out there that I found that helps with deep sleep. But what I found is since I've been doing this, is my deep sleep has increased over like an hour a night. And that is tremendously increased for me. So I would be interested if you're watching this and you've had that and you track your sleep, if you did these kind of things, what happens with your deep sleep? Maybe you've stumbled on something that will be beneficial for other people, but I feel more rested, and that's probably why my workouts are getting better, because my sleep is better and my body's repairing itself at nighttime. So that's been very, very encouraging to me to keep doing the things that I'm doing. And what I want to point out too is, again, been doing it 6 weeks or so. Just in the last 2 weeks, notice these things I've just talked about. So I had to do these things for 4 weeks before I even saw results. And this is somebody who I wasn't overweight. I was pretty good shape, things like that. I worked out every day. And it took me 4 weeks to get there. Now, if you're just starting out and you have metabolic dysfunction, and let's just say you're 50 pounds overweight or something like that, it may take you longer. But the thing that's encouraging with this is that if you stay with it, you will see changes. Your body takes time. And you can just take my example. It takes some time to get to the point where you are seeing those results. So don't be discouraged. If you're doing the right things, just keep doing the right things, and you're going to get to where you want to go. It may take you 6 weeks, like me, where I'm at. It may take you 6 months. It may take you a year. But the goal is to get healthy, not necessarily lose weight. We want to not necessarily lose weight. We want to lose fat. We want to gain muscle. And that's what we want to think about as well, too. But with me, even my sleep cycles, and that's where you go through the 4 stages of sleep, I've noticed that I have more sleep cycles at nighttime. Usually it was just more in the beginning stage of my sleep, I did 1 or 2 sleep cycles, and then I just had some light sleep throughout the night. Now, throughout the nighttime, I'm getting those sleep cycles. And I've done many podcasts on sleep. It's where it clears your brain out, it allows memory, things like that. So that's why it's so important that we concentrate on these things. If you're not constantly hacking your health, and what I mean by hacking is not some kind of voodoo or some kind of, off the wall type things, but if you just kind of start making these little tweaks to your health, if you know what tweaks to make, then it can encourage you to do these things consistently so that you can get the results that you want to get. So my workouts have been the same. I've added some strength. I'm doing a little more of a 5-set routine, trying to lift more heavy weights for 5 sets. I do 10 reps instead of 5 reps. A lot of people do 5 reps or 5 sets of 5. So in my workouts, I've been doing 10 sets or 5 sets of 10 reps on my major lifts, which is the deadlift, bench, squat, and shoulder press. So I try to do those, and then I do some accessory work on the other things. But on my eating, which is probably where it's interesting interesting to you, this is kind of like an example of what I eat during the daytime. I usually have 5 to 6 eggs, and actually I just came up here for dinner. I had some eggs, just got home from work, and I ate 6 eggs, 3 pieces of bacon, and 2 pieces of sausage. That's what I had for dinner tonight, actually. So I usually eat eggs, at least 5 or 6 per day. I have bacon and sausage. I have usually 1 to 2 cups of cottage cheese. That's the full-fat cottage cheese. I have walnuts. I have pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and Greek yogurt. Usually have 2 to 3 at least servings of that. Now, what I like to do is put the pumpkin seeds, the walnuts, and the sunflower seeds in my cottage cheese or my Greek yogurt, and just add some crunch to it. So it might be something that you might be interested in. I also have usually between 5 and 10 ounces of chicken. I have between 5 and 10 ounces of steak. I have mushrooms, green beans, and zucchini. So in my routine during the week, when I eat every day at work, these are the things that I eat. And if you add that up, it's probably, depending on the quantity of it, it's anywhere between 1,800 and 22 calories per day. And the amazing thing is, I'm not watching my calories to lose weight. I'm just watching my calories just to see if I'm losing weight. I know I need to eat more calories if I'm gaining, which I'm trying to gain weight with muscle. I know I'm right where I need to be. So I've been eating between 1,800 and 2,200 calories. And I've noticed in the last probably 10 days or so, I've lost 4 pounds and didn't mean to do that. So I'm actually forcing myself to eat when I'm not hungry. But my waist size is going down. I can tell in my jeans, I can tell in my belt, it's getting lower because it's a lot less, it's a lot looser than what it used to be. So I'm eating all this food, and it's probably in between 150 to 200 grams of protein. I'm guessing around 50 carbs, depending on the quantity of what I'm eating, and usually around 100 grams of fat. So I'm eating a lot. And if you ate this much, still, you're going to have some maybe carb cravings and sugar cravings, because it's really hard to get rid of those sometimes, but you're going to feel full. So every time I get hungry now, I go eat some cottage cheese or eat some Greek yogurt, and usually I feel full. So that's just something that you can incorporate into your life. If you don't like those type of foods, then you can try something different. And it's just, you have to meet what you need to have so that you can continue. One of the things I heard, and it was a very good point, was to lose fat and to gain muscle and to get healthier, the most important thing that you need to do is have a maintainable lifestyle. Let's just say you hate Greek yogurt and you hate cottage cheese. Well, you can't follow what I do. You just can't do that, because you're not going to do that for your lifetime. You got to find stuff that works for you. So the first thing is you have to figure out what a maintainable lifestyle and fit your protein requirements in it, and then adjust the dial on your fat and your carbs. At the same time, getting the sleep you need to have, doing the resistance training, and make sure you're praying and doing those things so that you can optimize your health. So for me, to kind of reiterate, the baseline that I'm having for my health, and I'm going to try to do this from this point forward, is have a minimum of 150 grams of protein per day. I'm going to try to have less than 20 grams of sugar intake per day. And that, sugars in vegetables and different things like that, so you have to watch that. And I'm going to try to do that less than 20 grams per day, at least 5 to 6 days per week. Some days I may decide to have something like cookies, ice cream or something like that. But I'm going to decide when to do that, not when I get the cravings. So the third thing is I want to prep. I want to make sure that I keep prepping so I keep these results. And fourth thing is I want to have a high protein snack available at all times. So if I get cravings or if I want something, then I'm going to have that. So my baseline is, again, 150 grams of protein, less than 20 grams of sugar per day. I want to be able to plan ahead, and I want to have a high protein snack available at any time, preferably non-processed at any time. In case I get hungry, then I can eat that. So my question for you is, what is your baseline? What's your baseline going to be from this point going forward so that you can get the results that you want to get? Maybe something as simple as I'm going to go out for a walk 10 minutes a day. And that's where you're going to start. That's going to be your baseline. You're never going under it. That's fine. Do that baseline. you need to start where you're at. You can't follow everything that I do and expect to follow my lifestyle because I've been doing this for so long. If you're just starting out, you need to just kind of start maybe with baby steps and start incorporating different habits into your life. But I would be very interested if you could just comment, what is your baseline? What's something that you can do every day so that you can begin your process to get healthy. Now, I know this is hard. I deal with it every day, either with my online clients or with my clinic patients. So one thing that I wanted to let you guys know is I have a 12-week course now, and you can contact me and I can have a conversation with you. We can set a phone call. But what it is a 12-week course. It's a lower price than what it is for my one-on-one coaching. And because it's more of a group coaching, you'll go through this 12-week program. I'll show you the whys behind everything. You'll get in a community of people just like you trying to get healthier. And that is going to encourage you because you're going to have accountability from me, but you're also going to have accountability from your fellow people that's in the program. So if you're interested in that, I would love to have a conversation with you. I can, on your Facebook page that is going to be within the group coaching, we're going to be able to answer questions. So if you have a question, should I eat this or this? You can ask it, it'll get answered. And then once a week, we're going to have a live Zoom call where you can ask questions live. Now, a lot of people get on live Zoom calls and they don't want to ask questions and things like that because they're shy and things like that. But once you get used to it, I think you'll kind of overcome that. But one of the things that you learn on those Facebook Lives is when other people ask questions, you'll think, I didn't think about that. I needed to know that. And you're going to gain so much information, so much knowledge during that 12 weeks. So I'm going to include the link below. So all you have to do is click it, and then you can join us. And then we'll be able to have that conversation. It's a free call. So I'm not a salesy type guy. I'll show you what I have. I'll find out what you need. If it's a good fit, I'll let you know about the program. If it's not a good fit, I'll try to help you any way I can and direct you where you need to go. But anyway, this is a synopsis of what I've done for the last 15 years and especially for the last 6 weeks. So hopefully that's helped. I thought it was important because I get asked this a lot as far as what do I do? But I'm sometimes reluctant to do that again because I'm a study of one. You're a study of one. What works for me may not work for you, and that's where you need some individualized, and advice as far as that is concerned. So today we are going to continue with our catechisms. Today the catechism is, what day of the week is the Christian Sabbath? The first day of the week, called the Lord's Day. And as I read through Scripture, even in the Ten Commandments, it says to keep a Sabbath holy. There's so many times that God tells us to keep this Sabbath holy. And it's about rest, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But it's about honoring God, thinking about God, and just realizing what He's done for you. He died on the cross. He didn't have to do that. And He rose again, and we serve a risen Savior. So I just encourage you, if you haven't had that relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, I would love to have that conversation. You can click the link below, say you don't want to talk about health, we just want to talk about Jesus. I'll be happy to do that for you as well, too. But going back to rest, one of my 4 pillars of health is prayer. And, every morning I'm in prayer, and that's how I start my day. I start my day with scripture reading, and I start my day with prayer. And throughout the day, you can do some deep breathing, and we show people that in our program. But you need to have that where you get your body rest and relaxation. And when you get that, that's our 4th pillar of health. And that's one that's really overlooked. People just kind of push it to the side. We need to concentrate on diet and exercise and sleep. Prayer is so important. It puts you in a parasympathetic mode. It relaxes your body because you don't need to be in a sympathetic rushing all the time, and because you're not going to get the optimal results that you need to get. So hopefully this has helped. If you guys, again, if you would like to have a conversation, click the link below. Look forward to seeing you guys at our next podcast. And remember, be fit and be faithful, guys.
This podcast is for informational purposes only. No patient-provider relationship is implied or established. This podcast in no way represents the practice of medicine. The information given is to be used at the listener's own risk. Please consult your provider before making any changes, as the contents of this podcast is no substitution for your provider's instruction.